As a major contributor to the South African economy, Airports Company South Africa, also known as ACSA, is opening up a world of possibilities for impoverished and previously disadvantaged communities through its Socio-Economic Development Program. In the past year, ACSA has spent over 41 million rand on various projects that are aligned to the country's National Development Plan, the King 3 Report, Broad-Based Black Economic Empowerment, and the Skills Development Act. ACSA's Socio-Economic Development (SED) strategy focuses on education, youth and women development, persons with disabilities, environmental sustainability, employee volunteerism, and philanthropic donations. ACSA mainly focuses on communities in and around the 9 airports that it operates. The company also contributes to other community development projects around South Africa that meet its SED criteria. Most of the company's airports fall within poverty nodes that government has specifically identified as needing focused intervention. Education. The common thread in ACSA's socio-economic development strategy is to make a positive and sustainable impact on the quality of life in communities. In this regard, ACSA strives to alleviate poverty through educational programs and initiatives that change unprivileged lives for the better. As Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. The shortage of scarce skills mainly requires graduating matriculants with good grades in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, also known as STEM subjects. ACSA, as the role player in the aviation industry, contributes towards alleviating scarce skills through teacher and learner development programs in schools. ACSA also supports various initiatives in education, such as enhancing educational infrastructure, the provision of educational ICT centers, libraries, and science laboratories. Education. Inkomazi Secondary School, Mpumalanga. Placed away in a rural area in Mpumalanga is Inkomazi Secondary School, Emangweni. Like many schools in South Africa, Inkomazi struggled to keep up with the modern way of learning.
We, as teachers, we were working, but our work was so difficult.
Coming to the library, we had books, old books, and then it was just congested, the library.
The science lab, to say, was very poor, didn't have enough chemical compounds.
Educators found it difficult to do experiments.
Being a poor area, computer and internet facilities were out of reach for most learners.
So before ACSA came, it was difficult for learners to do research in as far as internet is concerned.
We really had bad infrastructure, right? It was very terrible. When we needed to work on assignments, we had to do twice the job.
Ukuthi besiyofunda besingakhona ukuthi sifunde sonke ngalawo ma computer lasuke akhona. Ukuthi umfundi ahlalele bafundi computer le1 babe 10.
ACSA contributed funds for general renovations around the school, but also towards the building of a new computer room, a library, and a science lab.
It has also helped the learners because now they know to go to the library, look for a specific book that is relevant to the subject that they are learning and search information on their own, write it down, and go back to the teacher and present.
I want to do chemical engineering or industrial engineering. I'm scientifically driven. I love science a lot. Since we have the lab, we are able to do experiments, see the things in reality rather than just reading about it on textbooks. ACSA renovated the lab entirely and completely from what it used to be before. It has really helped us, and my marks have really improved, I have to say. They provided us with chats that are about physics and chemistry. They also provided us with chairs, with tables, with chemicals, a lot of stuff. They have really done wonders for us. It certainly means that effective learning and teaching will take place compared to before.
With the computer center and instant internet access being provided throughout the year, the new facilities have opened many opportunities for learners which they could never dream of before.
They came in with new, more efficient, faster computers. When I come to school, it's easy for me to do my work or research because nowadays we don't use physical books, we use e-books. And since I want to do information technology, I have to start now. This is my starting point.
Umehluko lokhona nyalo ukuthi yonke into bomem labasithumela yona ukuthi sifune si-research kuphi kuphi. Akusahlupheki njengakuqala sihamba zulu emakhaya sihamba sisizula sibuka insawo singathi sitoya ku yabona kusitakala laba ngathi banawo kodwa nyalo sitakala sonke akukho umuntu lo sitakala ukuthi lodlula ngalo bantu.
We use the computer room for applications. I mentioned that at first. Secondly, maybe we want to see the mindset learn extra, as far as you know that, to learn some of the things, to hear what other teachers say, we download question papers, we download memos, lots of things that we do there.
You see, when we see our learners outside accessing other job, in terms of learning somewhere else, like university, and thereafter we see them working nicely, and we are very much happy. We see them progressing. ACSA will make us proud.
Besides the learning challenges, sanitation was also a big concern for the school.
The main challenge was had to do with our toilets. We had few toilets, about 10 for girls and then 4 for boys, of which it was a mess.
It was so horrible to see learners queuing for a toilet, because we had very, very few toilets.
Learners don't have to stand in long queues anymore, as the latest renovations have seen the erection of new modern ablution facilities.
Now I think we are going to have a healthy environment with that new toilets.
This year we are going to get 100% because ACSA have managed to improve our school in the good condition. Even environment now it's harmonious.
ACSA's contribution will improve the performance to an extent that will encourage almost all the educators to make use of all the facilities provided to the school to make effective teaching. Through effective teaching and learning, the school is going to attain 100% at the end of this year.
I feel blessed, honestly, that ACSA has chosen us to do wonders in our school.
Education, Bavumeleni Edutainer Project, Northern Cape. As part of ACSA's educational interventions to improve learning at the early childhood development level, the company contributed towards the Bavumeleni Edutainer Project in Uppington's Babalelo Township. This township is one of the economically depressed communities of Uppington. It faces issues such as poverty, crime, and substance abuse. To keep children off the streets, local resident Esther Kumalo proved to be a godsend and built 2 shacks which she turned into classrooms.
Ons het baie gesukkel, maar ons het volhou, want ons het geen befondsing gehad nie. Ons het skien met 20 kindertjies begin. Het so R20 'n maand betaal waarvan die ander glad nie kon gebetaal het nie. En daarvan moet ons nou die huur van die plek moes ons gebetaal het.
Hearing of Hester's efforts, ACSA assisted by supplying 2 fully equipped ventilated container classrooms.
En dit was vir ons 'n groot verligting want ons was, soos ek sê, overcrowded. En ons grootste bekommernis was geweest ons babietjies. Ons het mos kinders van 18 months till 2 years wat ons ook hier huisves en hulle is mos nou baie gefeins, hulle tel baie kieme op en as jy almal so na een klas prop, as dit was nou die warm asems en dat maak die kinders kan siek raak.
The container is ventilated, which helps to minimize the impact of Uppington's extremely high temperatures. In addition, the extra space improves the general hygiene of the classroom environment. Education. Mgezeni High School, KwaZulu-Natal. Mgezeni High School in the village of Ntambanani, outside Mbangeni in KwaZulu-Natal, is a newly upgraded technical school. The school, however, needed the supply, installation and maintenance of ICT equipment for their 2 ICT centers to enhance their mechanical, electrical and civil technology curriculum.
When I arrived in 2002, the school was not doing well. The morale, both for the teachers and the learners, was at an all-time low.
ACSA, in partnership with Air Traffic Navigation Services, known as ATNS, and the Department of Transport as a shareholder, made a combined donation. In addition, the Department of Transport made a donation of Shovakalula bicycles as an intervention to improve the learners' mobility and access to the school.
Lapho engisuka khona bekungekho ukuthi mhlawumbe lokhu kwama-computer izinto ey'kanjalo nama-library kade ku-bad njengoba kade kuyindawo engingathini esemakhaya kakhulu lapho engisuka khona. Ngifikela esikoleni sathola ama-technical subjects sifundiswa khona ngama-computer, sifundiswa nje ngempilo nezinto ezenzekalayo.
More than 1,400 learners currently benefit from the project. Computer classes at the school are now run with 2 teachers handling each lesson. The first teacher conducts the lesson, while the other teacher follows up to ensure that the learners understand what is being taught. Empty photo frames along the corridor walls challenge learners to do well and so get their photographs profiled amongst the best performers. Gezeni, as rural as it is today the star performer and the envy of surrounding schools in the northern districts of KZN. Education, Buffelsdale Secondary School, KwaZulu-Natal. For school children trying to study for their matric exams, La Mercy informal settlement on the outskirts of Durban is not conducive for good results. It's a place of crime, liquor abuse and noise that never sleeps. Wiseman Makubalo was 10 years old when he lost both his parents. He occupies a shack alongside his grandmother, who supports 8 children on childcare grants.
Uma ngithola le mali yabo, ngithenga okanye impuphu kuphela namazambane ne-10 kg rice kuphela kanjalo bese ngithatha ngiyokhokha esikoleni. Esikoleni ngikhokha imali enzima.
Poverty is not Wiseman's only challenge. He studies by candlelight, and during his recent exams, his shack was destroyed in a storm. Wiseman is a learner at the Buffelsdale School close to King Shaka International Airport. ACSA sponsorship of an IT center at the school has shone a ray of light into Wiseman's future. The company purchased a complete solar-powered lab housed in a 12-meter shipping container that is designed to meet the needs of communities that have no electricity or infrastructure. This solar-powered lab has opened a new world for learners like Wiseman.
I didn't know what's the mouse. I only knew the mouse is only the animal. Keyboard, everything, I didn't know. And I don't even have a TV.
Through hard work and dedication, the computer lab has given Wiseman hope and inspiration for the future.
The only thing that that helps me to recover is that I know that I won't stay here for all my life. I'll make sure that I improve on my studying and get good marks so that I'll be able to achieve my goals around.
Education, Walmer High School, Eastern Cape.
Walmer High School is the closest township school from the airport of Port Elizabeth, and ACSA itself, being the owner of the airports around South Africa, has decided to make a contribution and an intervention in Woma High School, solely because a number of their employees are parents of the learners that we have here at the school.
ACSA chose Woma High because it had a pass rate of 21% in 2016.
On Saturdays, or on the weekends, if we were not attending ACSA, some of us would be drinking, some of us would be playing soccer, and others would get involved in crimes.
Silindele ukuba baza kuba ngumahluko omkhulu kwi-community yonke i-society yethu yalapha eWoma baza kuba ngumahluko.
The total enrollment of our student population is 1,400, and for our ACSA intervention program we have grade 10, 11 and 12 for maths, science and accounting, together with maths lead for grade 12s.
My expectations when I first got here was to make a difference in the mathematical abilities of the learners of the school.
Kuba nzima ukufumana nemisebenzi xa bengenazo bengena maths, bengenayo accounting, bengenayo i-science. So bayavuya ke uba bafumane eli xesha khona ukuze bakwazi ukuthi bangakwazi ukufumana nowuphi umsebenzi ebomini.
The whole community supports the project, especially the principal. I mean, he's here every Saturday, doesn't miss one day, and that makes a big difference.
They come to school every Saturday from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock. This forms part of a reinforcement of what has been taking place throughout the week.
So ACSA has changed a lot, and also our pass rate. In 2016 it was 22%, and then last year it was 73%. I've come from being an average student to being a top student, which is ACSA has made a huge difference in me.
This creates an employment opportunity for the parents of the learners who are here at school, because they provide nutritious meal for our learners in order for them to be able to stay and to remain here up until 2 o'clock.
I'm happy for my job. I'm a lady asekuhlaleni eza nami apha sibayi-4 sizokuphekela abantwana ukutya nice go Saturday.
You know, there's a positive working environment now, and the kids really want to learn.
I'm happy because ACSA uyabafundisa abantwana. I'm happy because abantwana bane-knowledge too much.
It has actually happened. The reality of the situation is that the learners' mathematical abilities did improve, and the proof of that is in the school's marks that went up.
This, as I say, this intervention will make them to be able to produce good results in these challenging subjects. And then this will open the door for them one day to become medical doctors or even chartered accountants or even pilots.
ACSA has promised to fly the top achievers to Johannesburg and meet the CEOs and also the managers of ACSA. So since from now, I've promised myself that, or I've pledged that I will work hard to be the chosen one. It will be an honor because I'll be the first person to fly in my family.
I would like to thank you for the opportunity that you've given us, because it went for you, I wouldn't have obtained better marks than 2016.
To ACSA, continue with this project. Expand it to more schools. There are so many more learners out there who need these opportunities and are not granted them.
It's really an amazing project. You know, you really touch the lives of many people directly.
Education. Nooit Gedacht Primary School, Western Cape. To support disadvantaged learners from the Cape Flats, the Nooit Gedacht School in Bishop's Lavis, Cape Town, needed to find a teaching system that worked for their community. The school adopted an early childhood development program through a method espoused by Egyptian educator Caleb Getakno, best known for his innovative approach to teaching and learning. In order to assist the school to realize its objective, ACSA contributed towards the establishment of a specialized reading room. The Words in Color curriculum is a teaching method that uses a phonetics-based approach to emphasize letters, symbols, and words to accelerate learning. The system also trains educators to utilize the manuals, workbooks, and resource methodology critical to the program's success. The donated ACSA reading room is filled with colorful books, toys, and other gadgets to help children learn to read and write. The new facilities and materials have helped make the learners and educators more confident and awaken their desire for knowledge.
And we are able to do all these things for the children. If it was not for ACSA, we would not be where we are. Like we have the monitor and we have the resources and the books and the everything. The classroom on its own is beautiful.
ACSA's reading room in this impoverished area of the Cape Flats has contributed to the fight against illiteracy. Today, Nooit Gedacht is one of the best achieving academic schools in the Western Cape and has seen improvements in their Grade 1 average English literacy scores. Blikkiesdorp Community, Western Cape.
The SED projects that are happening in our space is as a result of quite a significant investment program that we're launching, which includes, amongst other, the main runway, which we are realigning, as well as 2 terminal projects, land acquisition, and the consolidation of that in terms of a new airport precinct. From that, we have obviously a need to relocate more or less 2,500 families from informal to formal housing. That is a process where we have at least 3 informal communities on or around the airport. And within those communities, we have a number of SED projects, exciting projects. Amongst other would be Operation Hunger, a food program. There's a program with SAFA where we teach the young kids how to become coaches and referees, and they form a league. And then probably the top program that we're very proud of is the skills development program.
There's a lot of people that is actually unemployed because 80% of Blikkiesdorp's people at present is unemployed, right? So there's an opportunity and people wanted to work, right? They wanted actually to work, but because they're not skilled, right? That was a dream, a lifelong dream, to say we need to start with a project of skilling all these people.
False Bay College is a credible public TVET college, which with a campus very closely located to the airport in Khayelitsha. So it was obvious with the skills programs offering of the college that we would be an obvious choice as a partner. And we feel that the relationship with the community leadership is very important because they understand the community and very often they are the voice of the community.
So we came up with this idea by ACSA and saying, listen, can't we start with a skills development project? But the skills development project must only be for housing, because we here in Blikkiesdorp for housing.
So the flagship program that we are launching, very excited about, is the skills program in terms of house building. It involves 100 members of the Blikkiesdorp community as a first round. We hope to do this over a number of years now, this being the first year. In the first year, ACSA contributed 5 million into this project. Our partners, False Bay College, applied to the SETA. They secured another 5 million, topping it to 10 million. And then the City of Cape Town came in with another $1.5 million.
There are 2 programs that we are currently doing with the students of Blikkiesdorp. We are doing the competency-based modular training program. It's a short skills program. It's very practical in nature, which they really are enjoying. And then we're also doing the National Certificate in Civil and Building Construction. And this is a combination of theoretical training and practical training. But we're doing a component of the qualification which will allow students to build up credits and obtain a full qualification in the long term if they so wish.
To me, for instance, I know exactly where they are from because I'm staying close where they are. So I understand which situation they come from, because really it's a rough place, and there's drug use, there's a teenage pregnancy. So to them, by getting this, it's a very, very good privilege. And as I see them, they really take it as it's something that they need.
Voor ik bij het programma betrokken geraakt was ik werkloos. Voor ongeveer 9 maanden was ik werkloos. En Ek het toe aansoek gedoen vir hierdie program om vir myself te skill sodat ek 'n betere werk kan kry in die toekoms en miskien vir my familie kan sorg.
Ek is van Blikkiesdorp en eerlike ware die lewe daar is nog wat ek verwag het toe ek daar ingetrek het. Daar is die lewe wat ek uitgekom het. Daar by Blikkiesdorp het ek so lang so nou haar bly het ek al verskillende goede gesien, verskillende goede experience wat ek nooit in my lewe sal gedink het.
Hierdie tydperk wat ek nou hier is by Valsby College, het ek tamelik baie geleer.
The various skills that I learned is doing setting out of a building. We also teach them how to do excavation. We also show them how to cast concrete, build out the foundation brickwork, and also build up your superstructure, which is your brickwork above your floor slab. Then also we show them how to install a window frame, how to install the door frame. We do the window sill. We show them how to install lintels, etc.
Ek het so baie goed te hier geleer wat ek nooit gedink het ek sal kan gedoen het. En as dit kom by die gebou, eerlike waar nadat ek, het was nog geen stoei maanden en wat ek hier gewees het. Toe kan ek bou soos een perfect vir myself en so vir die lecturers.
Education and training must empower communities and individuals, must lead to employment, must lead to sustainable communities.
Especially in Blikkies. Ons is 'n paar wat die geleentheid gekry het. Maar daar's 'n klompie nog waar daar sit. Die meerderheid van die mense het nou wel die gewete because hulle is besig met baie worries.
I feel that people's dignity were taken away from them when they were moved into Blikkiesdorp. And one of the things is we need to restore people's dignity. Because that is the main thing. If you're living without dignity, you're not human anymore. We don't want to move into another tent. We actually want to move into a mortar house, right, with bricks and mortar. And now, if you see the women on that project, right, how proud they actually are, that they can lay a brick and start building their own houses. And that is making me prouder than anything else.
I feel good about the program. I feel great about the program. It's a great opportunity for the youth of Blikkiesdorp.
I always tell my students that just because they are bricklayers now doesn't mean they'll be bricklayers for the rest of their lives. They can open their businesses and they can be lecturers just like me.
The other students told me it's a whole lot of hard work, and I've actually seen them when they come on the bus, they look tired, they're dirty, and I can't wait just to look like them. I can't wait for that tiredness. I'm very excited. I really need to go to this. I really have to be there.
Ek is net baie dankbaar man om dit so te sê.
It is possible that this project can transform the lives of the members of the Blikkiesdorp community, that they are able through this program to take responsibility for their lives, to start believing in themselves and to shape their own future.
Goodbye Malaria, Gauteng and Western Cape. ACSA has partnered with Nando's and Goodbye Malaria with the aim of developing entrepreneurs through retail skills and knowledge development training.
The Goodbye Malaria is a project to fight malaria. It is also a collaboration with the Airports Company of South Africa. Carts at the airports generate employment not just for the immediate community, but also for the community that manufactures the products that are sold at the cart. We will give them basic skills such as customer interaction, level of service, how to deal with the merchandising in a cart, cashing up, banking, controlling stock, all that a basic enterprise needs to be successful.
I was just a manager in retail, but being given an opportunity to run my own business and employ staff and grow in that same program, it's such an overwhelming experience that I will forever be grateful for.
ACSA has provided Goodbye Malaria with space for kiosks, airside and landside at no cost.
Goodbye Malaria is not only an initiative that you will find at OR Tambo or Cape Town International Airport. We are right here in George too, where we provide the opportunity to young people, where they're taught to merchandise, to sell, and many other skills that we are able to equip them with.
To date, 18 direct jobs have been created for youth who come from impoverished backgrounds.
It was difficult before, but now whereas I'm working here in Goodbye Malaria, I see everything is going right.
I was studying at UNISA, doing LLB degree, but I dropped out because I didn't have money to pay for my fees.
Coming from a small neighborhood in Kwakwa, in the Free State, never in my wildest dreams did I think that I'd get this opportunity of being an entrepreneur and actually run my own business.
The youth have received training in various skills relevant for the retail positions.
The managers get taught basic managerial skills and the responsibilities of a manager, as well as the importance of accountability. These salespeople get taught how to welcome people, how to greet people, how to smile, how to be grateful, say thank you, how to upsell, how to be able to cash up, use a till, use a digital system, things they're not used to.
The training meant a lot to me because it equipped me in terms of management and in terms of engaging and managing the business as a whole, and how to treat the staff and how to to make the business run as a business.
The training was about how to interact with the customer, how to communicate with the customer, how to treat the customer, and how to count the stock inside, and how to do the display.
And the following have been achieved. 30 people depend on this project. 44 people have indirect employment. 200,000 Rand turnover per month. 300,000 Rand contribution towards combating malaria.
Every month now, whereas I'm working in Goodbye Malaria, every month I give my mother the money because I get more money.
It means a lot to me. As I can say, we were struggling before, but now I can see this change. I can send my sister to school and I can send myself also to school, because at first I was struggling to pay for my fees. Now I have a job. I can pay for my fees.
This whole experience has been fun. It has made me to be financially independent. It has made me to be determined, and it has empowered me a lot, and I've grown as a person.
Furthermore, the goods sold at the kiosks are sourced from 100% black women-owned businesses. The funds also go towards fighting malaria in South Africa, Mozambique, and Swaziland.
In my heart, I feel good. I don't know how can I say I'm far away. I can say maybe I'm in cloud nine to work in Goodbye Malaria.
Persons with disabilities. The history of ACSA's involvement in the disability sector started 11 years ago. We support programs such as the South African National Deaf Association, the Association for the Physically Disabled, and the Odanikwa Wheelchair Challenge. ACSA, in collaboration with the Department of Social Development and other organizations, strives to make a meaningful contribution by providing assistive devices to persons with disabilities and thereby promote their independence. ACSA also provides opportunities to upskill disability caregivers so that they can provide people with disabilities better care. The company also provides people with disabilities skills development training so they can become employable and contribute towards their communities and the economy. In so doing, ACSA strives to minimize the stigma associated with disabilities. Persons with disabilities. Odanikwa Wheelchair Challenge. Over 1,000 national and international athletes living with disabilities competed at the 2018 Odanikwa Wheelchair Challenge, OCC, in George, in what was the biggest ever edition of the annual wheelchair race event. The streets of George were filled with volunteers from early morning as racers tackled a tough new course over the standard marathon and half marathon distances, and in the 10-kilometer and 5-kilometer fun run categories. The 2018 challenge included participants from South Africa, Ghana, Namibia, and Zimbabwe. On hand to congratulate the athletes at the Toyota halfway finish line was the Mayor of George, Melvin Nake, Western Cape MEC for Cultural Affairs and Sport, Ms. Andrew Marais, and representatives from Airports Company South Africa, Ms. Senzeni Ndebele, Ms. Brenda Foster, and Mr. Humbulani Nejianeulu. The Odanigwa Wheelchair Challenge is a favorite event in the socio-economic development calendar of George Airport and is made possible by the partnerships and cooperation of Airports Company South Africa, local government, businesses, and communities who rally together every year to promote the well-being and dignity of persons with disabilities.
As ACSA, we've put in 900,000 into the OCC this year in 2018, which has been 200,000 more than what we've given last year.
The state-owned company has supported the Odanigwa Wheelchair Challenge since 2011, and it is the most important community engagement for George Airport and its staff.
The George municipality has come in financially with 250,000. The Western Cape government has come in through the MEC for cultural activities and sport, who has also come in bringing in 50,000 rands as well. Toyota Halfway House here in George has actually given us the venue for this year, which has really been great. It's been a brilliant venue, giving us more space. And they've also donated 2,000 water bottles for all the athletes that they can actually use.
It is very encouraging to again witness this year how this event has grown since its humble beginnings in 2002, and to see the power of sports bringing together communities and people from all walks of life. Volunteers were given an opportunity to participate in the race through a 5-kilometer fun race where they pushed a wheelchair-bound person. The annual Odanigwa Wheelchair Challenge also raises awareness for the tourism and hospitality sectors to ensure that their establishments are accessible for people living with disabilities. The overall prize money awarded to athletes was 258,000 rand. Environmental sustainability. Due to the potential of airport operations interfering with wildlife habitats, ACSA's business operations compels the company to focus on the conservation of wildlife. As such, ACSA has formed strategic partnerships with leading non-governmental organizations to support their environmental programs. These projects focus on communities adjacent to the airports while maintaining a link to national programs. Partnerships with Ezemvelo Wildlife in KwaZulu-Natal and BirdLife South Africa are among some of the major environmental projects. Environmental Sustainability Nature Guide Program, Gauteng. ACSA's partnership with BirdLife has in past years focused on providing nature guide wildlife management skills to unemployed youth around Ekurhuleni. To bring more value to the partnership, ACSA is sponsoring a community development nature conservation training program. 12 candidates from needy communities in the Ekurhuleni municipality are currently participating.
Before the program, I had challenges finding a job and finding a career path. So when this opportunity came along, it was a chance for me to empower myself as a young person.
Their recruitment was conducted in partnership with the Economic Development Department in the Ekurhuleni municipality, with a focus on giving job opportunities to unemployed youth. The municipality is also sponsoring stipends for the students.
My parents couldn't afford to take me to school, so I decided to join Ekurhuleni as a volunteer in Eco Guide. When this opportunity came, I decided to apply as I wanted to have a qualification in nature guiding and also study a career path where it involves taking care of the environment.
The program is an NQF Level 2 qualification through the Field Guides Association of South Africa. Through the program, the trainees were also assisted to obtain their driver's licenses. They are now currently undergoing experiential training in various nature reserves. The training program includes formal lectures as well as field work. The students have been exposed to the wildlife department within ACSA to understand the role of wildlife conservation within the airport environment. Senior ACSA managers are also providing mentorship to the trainees.
What I've learned throughout the whole program is everything that has to do with nature, from climate to learning about birds, and also the business side, how to present yourself as a professional and also how to sell yourself as a brand.
Once they complete the course, the students have a better chance of getting employment or starting their own businesses.
Being in this program, I've met a lot of people who have inspired me to want to take back what I've learned back to the community. I also want to start a company whereby I'll be teaching people, guiding and also educating people about nature conservation.
Employee volunteerism and philanthropic donations. Smile Week through the Smile Foundation, Eastern Cape. During Nelson Mandela's presidency, a young girl who'd suffered severe burns wrote to him asking for help with the reconstruction of her face. The former president was so moved that he committed to support the development of the Smile Foundation.
Mr. Mandela contacted Mark Labner, who is now the chairman of the board of the Smile Foundation, who instead of sending the patient overseas for surgery, decided to bring the experts from Europe to South Africa to train our specialists here.
This was the birth of Smile Week, a program that supports the reconstruction of facial abnormalities for children in Port Elizabeth and its surrounding areas.
So this is baby Hamza. He's 1 year old today, and he first presented to us just after birth with a bilateral cleft lip and palate. His bilateral cleft lip was repaired and he's doing very, very well.
The project is important to ACSA as it reaches out to vulnerable communities who could otherwise not afford the cost of the surgery and medical care.
So Smile Foundation are the people that they help me, they pay the money, everything for the baby until now to make operation. As you can see now, it's like no one can know that the way how he was. So I really appreciate and thank the Smile Foundation what they did.
ACSA's donation to Smile Week assists with pre-operative counseling for the children and their parents, the pre- and post-operative medical care, additional nurses, physiotherapists, psychologists, and theatre consumables. The company's donation in the past year enabled 26 children to receive corrective surgery for deformities.
If we didn't have the support of ACSA, I mean, it would be nothing. So we are very proud to be part of it.
Employee volunteerism and philanthropic donations. Aribaukeng Community Centre, Gauteng. It was a vision that led Nurse Flora Mudiba to devote her life to the care of terminally ill patients in Tembisa, Johannesburg. In her spare time, she began going from house to house assisting terminally ill patients.
As I was working in the hospital, I've always felt for the families of patients who were discharged from a hospital and were still not capable of being on their own.
Operating from a small center in Tembisa, she first hired a part-time employee using her own money. As many of her terminally ill patients left unattended children at home, Flora also provided a childcare facility for them. When ACSA heard about Flora's work in 2004, the company became involved by buying her a site to establish a nursery school. Today, Aribaukeng has grown into an institution assisting over 50 orphaned and vulnerable children and a hospice staffed by 30 caregivers.
Most of them are orphans because they lost their parents through HIV and AIDS. But I can proudly say, as I'm sitting here, We have never lost a child to HIV and AIDS because of the nutrition, because of the supervision for treatment.
The focus is on preparing the children for school readiness. Culture and sport form part of the activities. The facility also provides a safety net for other vulnerable members of society.
Jessica ulovele vatswari asala na vana va ka vona lava ku nga va tindzisana lavakulu a va ri kaya vabuti lavambirhi lavakulu a va ri kaya mina ku nga ri na income leyi nga va yi ri kona mara hi ku pfuniwa ka Miss Mudiva ku ve ku va na ku hlayiseka loku nga kona.
Employee volunteerism and philanthropic donations. ACSA, through its Socio-Economic development initiatives, continues to transform communities and the lives of many underprivileged people. ACSA has helped communities through enhancing educational infrastructure, improving the standard of education and training, improving people's employability, minimizing the stigma associated with disabilities, and improving the quality of people's lives. These projects and employee volunteer programs have also encouraged environmental sustainability and contributed towards nation building and social cohesion.
I'm very delighted a company that I'm working for will donate back to the community.
It's amazing. It's just an amazing feeling.
It brings me joy in my heart seeing that I'm doing what I love at Apple's company.
I wanna be there when the people start to turn it around, when they triumph over poverty. I wanna be there when the people win the battle against AIDS. I wanna lend a hand. I wanna be there for the alcoholic. I wanna be there for the drug addict. I wanna be there for the victims of violence and abuse. I wanna lend a hand. Send me to Mamina, to Mamina, as he said, me Zoya. To Mamina, to Mamina, as he said,
my cause is beyond my table. My core past the mountains and valleys. The wastelands of my land lead me there, and set infected pastures yearn for my presence. The skies are blue. Are they said true? I wonder. Do they need me?
I wanna be there when the people win the battle against AIDS. I wanna lend a hand. I wanna be there for the victims of violence and abuse. I wanna lend a hand. Send me to Mamina, to Mamina, as he said, Zoya, to Mamina, to Mamina, as he said, Zoya,
I hear the cries of little ones. Another day of nothing in their tummies to kill them. I hear the mothers and fathers helpless to help. They need me today more than ever. My own table cannot hold me back. My doorstep has to give way and let me go. There are doors to open there and people to assure I am on my way. Shoulders to rub with the elite. Some grumbling to do with the powerful and rich. With the educated I have to reason and wrestle with the mighty strong. My pride cannot stop me now, nor can fear get on the way. On the back of the winds of change I've got to sail, carrying the baton, the Mandelas of this world, passed on to the young and fearless of this world. I have to run, I cannot quit, not ever. The finishing line is getting nearer, the task getting harder and harder as I near my goal. I try to catch a breath, and I gasp at exacerbation's edge. The foe is strong, but the core loud and clear. Children crying, some in numbers dying, others silenced and numbed by fear. Women raped, wearing all black, mourning husbands who went to work and never made it back. How can I pay heed to my own little ghost? How can I not go on? fail along the way, I will, but I'll try again, and rise from the dust when I fall, and run again. I'm going to do it. Yes.